This has nothing to do with anything, but your IMDb, all it says is trivia. You have a dog.
Does it still say that?
That's the only trivia we have about you on IMDb.
From like 2 years ago from my agent asking me to change that.
We're running a bed and breakfast.
Would you mind taking this to the gentleman in the corner?
You?
He's stalking me.
Why is Bucket Rush in the dining room?
What?
Nora, dear. Give me jam for this scone.
Yeah, sure, love.
Cheers.
It must be a very important dog.
Oh, he is the most important dog to me. He's in his room being a very good boy, right? Healing on a bum.
Good. So how is this, how amazing that you guys got to shoot in Ireland. What was, that kind of feel, and how was that experience?
Amazing. Just everything. Like when you do go watch the film, because everyone's going to watch this film, you're going to want to go to Ireland. It is so like unbelievably green and luscious, and like the people over there are so cool and fun, and it's just a lighthearted place. Like it's a very romantic place. I think this film does very well to have Ireland as its backdrop. It's almost like an extra character in the film. So what a magical place. And if you ever have the chance, go to Ireland.
I definitely do have the desire now after seeing it in the movie, because it's just gorgeous. I think it's funny though, because you guys are making a movie and you're like a world within a world, because you're making a movie in the movie. You're like on a set. And talk a little bit about that. And was it like a little trippy or whatever? Like,
it wasn't maybe as hard as it seemed as to get into the movie within the movie. It was just like doing a different movie almost, because it was so like they put a lot of work into this movie within the movie. All of the explosions that you see are real explosions and like real fire and stuff like that, and it was a big production. So it wasn't very hard to pretend that was real, because a lot of it was pretty real. And then we had the people playing the crew members within the movie, like the actors that were playing the crew members. They were phenomenal as well. And it was a pretty confusing day when we were filming that, because they looked like the actual crew members, and you're talking to the wrong people all day long.
Yeah. Yeah. It seems like your character is kind of looking for some like guidance or purpose or like some meaning in life. He's trying to figure out really what he wants. Can you expand upon that thought?
Aren't we all?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a very true thing that, most people experience in their life, or hopefully experience in their life at some point. It's a difficult thing to deal with that might be uncomfortable and might feel like you're wrestling an alligator or something like that. And I've never wrestled an alligator, by the way. But Beckett definitely is wrestling a lot at the start of the film with that. And then Finley comes along and helps him.
I'm looking for something real.
Well, I'll be your personal tour guide. Trust me.
I don't.
This really made me want to go to Ireland. Like, it's just a promo for Ireland. I want to go. How was that experience being there?
Well, I'm glad it made you want to go. I mean, that was kind of the point of it. And that's what I love about it, is that especially during this dark time, it's giving people the opportunity to kind of travel away virtually and get to experience Ireland. And hopefully they see all of the magic and mysticism that I did while I was there. But it was so incredible. It was gorgeous, but there was something more about it. There was something deeper than just its beauty. It was the culture. It was the people. It was the way that the air smelled, the way that the food tasted. It was just so unlike anything I'd ever experienced. It was amazing.
So I think some of the themes in here are like finding your purpose, or like figuring out what you really want to do. Especially for his character. I know that your character is kind of helping him with that. When did you figure out you wanted to be an actress and do that yourself?
Yeah, I think there were so many themes in the film, and that's one of the ones I loved so much is like finding yourself, and that's kind of what the film is all about. So it did, it does definitely make you question what you're doing, but I love acting so much and I love what I'm doing so much that was never even a thought in my mind, but it definitely does kind of spur you into kind of reimagining yourself and questioning, okay, let's shed these expectations that the rest of the world has for me. And let's question, what do I really expect for me? And what do I want to be? And who do I want to be?
Yeah. What do you think that she's kind of chasing when she's looking for her brother's, that scene in the sketchbook with the cross and her name in it? What do you think she's kind of chasing? Because it mentions she longs for the peace he had and stuff, but is that what you believe that she was chasing?
I do think she was chasing peace. I also think she was chasing she feels very alone, and that's something that's never really talked about too much, but that's something we decided very early on while developing her character, is that her mom doesn't really support her too much. We don't know where her dad is. We know that her brother passed away. So she feels very alone. And so I think when she reads that verse at the end, it's this reminder that she was never alone, that she always, she wasn't by herself when she was walking through all of these hard times. And I think that was kind of what she was seeking, is she was seeking some kind of security and some kind of certainty. And I think she found that, and she knew that her brother had imagined that and had given that gift to her in a time that she would need it most.
Joel, we've got a fine young fiddle player in the audience.
I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah, just after you play. Now, it doesn't matter what the notes are, it's how you play them.
I enjoyed the fact that we have a romantic movie because they made such good ones in the 90s, and they haven't made such good ones for years. So
20 years later, you got to wait, huh?
What's that? I know.
20 years later.
I know. So what was kind of the desire to remake like it's like a wholesome romantic movie, which I love. What was your desire there?
Yeah, I mean, it was really just to have some fun and to create a movie with joy and inspiration. I think having done some more heavy films previously, was really excited to do something where the trailer would just be something where people would be like, wow, I just want to go see that for a great time and a bit of escapism. So that to me was a big draw.
And for you, how was this? Because you had to make a movie within a movie. Right. You had a set within a set, and you're the director here, and it's like, the logistics of that are a little bit complex. Expand on that.
Yeah. We just loved doing that part. That was a real highlight, and we had so much fun and poking fun at filmmaking and all the little ways. They actually dressed the director in the movie like I dressed. They said, we're just going to make him look like you, Brian. So it was so much fun. It was an absolute joy. And we had a great time pulling out all the stops and trying to make it feel like it was a giant blockbuster.
And so I liked for Finley's character, it seems like she's, both of them are kind of looking for a purpose, and they're kind of looking for, she's looking for what her brother, that cross and her name in the book. So can you talk about kind of how she's looking for faith or peace or kind of a purpose?
Yeah. I think she really at the beginning experiences failure, right? Which so often rocks our world. And the great blessing of it is that it puts you in a place where you're really open to finding the answer. And so I think that was one of the reasons for her to take this journey, is to go discover what she needs and what's missing. And I think in the end is comforted we won't give it away, but she comes to a great point of comfort from that. And that's really just the sense that she isn't alone, even in the pain, was the hope that we can leave people with.
Yeah. And I think there's a nice message there with her, with the elderly woman that she's taking care of, and kind of like learning, to put up with people or love people, even if they're, grumpy or try to, she had a nice character because she is willing to work it out, and try to help that woman, Catherine, even though, can you kind of talk about that theme in there?
Absolutely. Yeah. I think, there's a big theme of, and really Finley's fatal flaw as a character is that she judges people a little too quick. And so nearly everyone in the film that she comes across turns out to be a little bit different, leading us to that theme that's spoken of in the movie, that things aren't always as they seem. And I think Catherine's character, Catherine Sweeney, the elderly woman in the story, played by the wonderful Vanessa Redgrave, is the prime example of that. So I think the big takeaway from that I hope audiences have is that they will dig a little deeper. They'll wonder, hey, if this person's grumpy, I wonder why. I wonder that they'll lean on curiosity and they'll say, hey, what is it that's causing this? And maybe I can help in some way.
Life rarely works out the way we plan it. You've got to learn to play the sorrow as well as the joy. You can't have one without the other.